an IFBB bubble? It might not be a bad idea. This Muscle Sport Minute is being brought to you by LegalSteroids.com. They are the title sponsor of our Wednesday 3 p.m. Instagram Live. Gear it up. Hey, check it out. All these leagues like the NBA and the NHL, right? They have this bubble thing going on. For you guys that have not been following it, basically, they've resumed their seasons after the big, pandemic break interruption for months. And instead of having teams travel and stuff, they have them all in a specific kind of bubble, if you will, location, lockdown. The NBA has it in Orlando and Disney, and the NHL has two locations, the Western Conference in Edmonton and the Eastern Conference in Toronto, where they have the hotels and the food services and stuff like that. So these guys aren't out and about and coming back and forth or going, all the games are played at neutral locations, and there's home teams and road teams as far as scheduling goes. So the IFBB, if they were going to do it, Tampa would be a good place to run a Grand Prix style tournament, if you will, between now and the Olympia. So many shows were canceled, most recently the Boston Pro. Now the New York Pro first of all, the New York Pro used to be in May, then I think they were going to have it in August, and now it's September in Tampa, because New York, over here where I live in New York, it's a fucking mess. They haven't opened up events for a large amount of people. So Steve Weinberger and Bev Francis did the right thing. They brought the show to a location that they will be able to hold it at. The Tampa Pro was there a few weeks ago. I believe it's a certain capacity. It's not at full capacity as far as people in the audience goes. So New York Pro down there, think about it. They used to do when Wayne D'Amelia was involved with the IFBB, after the Olympia, they would have these big Grand Prix shows in Europe, and they would do almost like a traveling, like a barnstorming tour, if you will, in all different European countries within maybe a 10 or 14 day span, so the guys could still be in their peak shape. So they paid them good money for placings and stuff like that. So these guys wanted to do the stuff after the Olympia, traveling overseas and all of that. So if you do something like that, have a little bubble thing, the guys can come and go as they please, and then, let's say they qualify for the Olympia, they don't need to do a show after that. They can go home and prep and then get ready for December when the Olympia got rescheduled to. So you could technically have things being held in this Tampa Marriott, where there's housing, it's a hotel, and there's got to be something else in the area where maybe if they had an overspill or anything like that, they can have another hotel testing on the site, even if they got 3 or 4 pro shows in. I don't know how many pro shows on the schedule they're going to be able to do again because of this whole thing. And it's nobody's fault. I mean, everything was affected by it. Pro sports, from football, baseball, basketball, hockey to bodybuilding now, right? So this is what we're looking at. I think a Grand Prix style tournament of sorts in a controlled bubble, so health risks are at a minimum. Even if you had small crowds there, you would still have more people qualifying for the Olympia. They're going to have to figure some other way out, because there's not going to be any points really to accumulate at this point because of the shows that have been canceled. So IFBB bubble, I think it's a possibility. I think it's a good idea. And those shows back to back like that, like every other weekend or every weekend in a 6-week span, I think the fans would really be into it.